Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone who has paid the time for the Excellence in Nanotechnology Season 2 at Technical Web Series 2020. I'm so glad who had made the time for this. Today, our speaker is Dr. Neelesh Dalit. We are so happy to have you here, sir. He has did his diploma in mechanical engineering, BTech in mechanical engineering, MTech in mechanical designing system, PhD in mechanical engineering. He has published a publication named as Material Today Processing. He has attended several trainings and workshops. So we are so happy to have you here, sir. From Department of Nanoscience and Technology, from K.S. Rangasamy College of Technology, we would like to welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Neelesh Dalit. So to deliver a lecture on role of for joint replacement. Now the platform is all yours, sir.
Thanks for your welcome speech. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
myself Nilesh Dalai. I am the assistant professor from NIST National Institute of Science and Technology. I am working as an assistant professor in the School of Mechanical Engineering. So today the topic will discuss about the role of nanomaterial for joint replacement. Before starting to the topic, everyone should know what is the nanomaterials. In nanomaterials, when it is this size less than 100 nanometers, and we can classify the nanometers into three items. First one is the one dimension, means in any one of the direction, either x, y or z direction, the length is measured in nanometers. The best example is the thin films. The second one is the two-dimension nanometer scales. So another, either two are the things. So either the wire or tubes are the example of the two dimension of nanometers. The final one is the three dimension. Here all the three are nano diamond, either X, Y, and Z. So the best examples are the nanoparticles. Every type of nanomaterials are now easily available in our markets. So some of the research groups are there doing their works how the nanomaterials are extended. So generally there are two type of approaches are there for getting the nanomaterials. The first one is the top-down model. Suppose you think one building is there. The building can be divided and subdivided and subdivided. If the building is there, it is subdivided in some type of rooms, and the rooms are subdivided into bricks, and the bricks are subdivided some atoms. In this phenomenon, it should be divided. This technique is generally used for mechanical, or it is known as mechanical grinding. The second one is bottom up. When some atoms are there and they are be collaborated to get another one atom which is more heavier, and it can be having their own properties. So these properties are good enough to on either direction, that is on X direction, Y direction, Z. But whenever you are going to purchase any type of nanomaterials, be specified. It should be on single direction, unidirectional, or bidirectional. What are the direction you are requiring? Because some nanomaterials are good in their X direction, but they are not so much good in their lateral directions. Means they can be tend or they can be withstand a lot of forces on their axial directions. But for when you are coming for the lateral directions, they are not so much of good. If anybody have any doubts, kindly note the page number or the what are the slides number I am showing to you, and on the slide to slide I will clear all your doubts. I am here to present on the basic things, because I am not presenting my what are the actual things are going on, because I am going to only what are the feasibilities and why this type of nanomaterials are required and what is the role of nanomaterials. On the next class, suppose we have to discuss what are the types of nanomaterials and how they will be enhancing the best properties. Okay. So if you go for that, in mechanical grinding, it is generally used for top to down methods. As I told, the one house is there. We have to go for the each and atom time. So the mechanical, or it is generally known as the Hammers methods are there. The Hammers method is generally used for fabrication of graphene. Nowadays, the graphene and fullerenes are the most nanomaterial which is used for every field. Nowadays, there are two types of graphene. One is graphene in nanoplates, another one is graphene in particles are coming. And the another one group, the newcomer of this carbon group is known as the fullerene, which is very much useful for the next generation. And the another one method, the wet or chemical method. It is offering the two types of methods, that is top down and bottom up methods. And another one soil gel method is there. We have to disperse some amount of nanomaterials so that we can get any type of film layer or particular layer or the powder layer, so we can be directly use the nanomaterials without saving them, because some of the nanomaterials are there, they are so much acting to the environment and they have some lifespan. So nowadays the soil gel methods are generally used where the nanomaterials having less lifespan, so they can be easily directly implant that nanomaterials to the best materials. The last one is your furnace or gas phase methods. Here the nanomaterials are evaporated and they will be condensed at a cool plate and it should be collected. These are the main types how we collect the nanomaterials. For mechanical engineering or other type of engineering, only especially for the chemical or physical departments, they are most concerned about how the nanomaterials can be created or generated. And each type of method having their own advantage and disadvantages. When you are going for Hammers method, there will be a chance of high heat resistance capacity will increases. So the graphene G is converted into GO, that is graphene oxide. If it generally the graphene oxide is converted, you cannot rearrange its structurals, so it is very much difficult. So every type of arrangements are required in molecules. So the chemical reaction or chemical change are the vital roles for the nanomaterials. So for where the nanomaterials can be used, in the nanomaterial has a vast field. You can go for the biomedical, healthcare, agriculture, food industries, electronics, environment, textiles. These are the main fields I have focused, and a lot of other sub branches are there. You cannot count the branches where the nanomaterials are not used. You cannot think where the nanomaterials are not used nowadays. If you consider only the biomedical things, again it is mainly divided to 5 types. Now these 6 and 7 types are already attached. But nowadays the most working on the drug delivery chains, because it is the most important type. We have previously what happened for the cancer patients. The cancer patients are not there finding the perfect place where the cancer occupies. Now the drug delivery system is showing that. Another one is bioimaging and biosensor. These are the another two fields where the nanomaterial is working hard. The next one is our topic, that is the application of nanomaterial in joint replacement. The left side figure indicates there is a lot of types of joints. Basically the joints are shoulder joints, hand joints, knee joints, and hip joint and ankle joints. If we divide the joints into two types, one is load type of joint, another is non-load type of joint. You have to understand what is load type of joint. Everything which carries the loads, means beyond your waist region, is your load type. That is, it consists of your hip joint, your knee joint, and or ankle joint. These are the three most critical type of joints where always some problems are generated. But in the case of elbow joints and shoulder joints, they are very much relaxed. So when we come about the three types of load carrying types of joint, we have to give more concern about it. So the next one, what are the parts of knee joint? You can already, all the students are, I think, are from engineering, from plus 2 science background, so they have know what is the tibula and what is the fibulus and tibia, femur and all the things. Why the persons are disease? He can hear the digit parts. What is the digit part? Due to the everyday wear and tears, there is a chance of damaging of the bones, and the bone has one good quality that it can be regenerated. Remember, one bone can be daily regenerated. Otherwise, after the fracture, we cannot get that same type of structure after the repairing works. Means any type of you are doing the works, means some plasters are given and some takes are you are applying and some types of mechanical arrangements they are applying. After due to that regenerative nature of the bones, these type of things can be eliminated. So it is the main part where the parts of hip joint. The hip joint is simply divided into three parts. One is the femoral hip stem. The femoral hip stem is generally made up of stainless steel. There is no alternation for the femoral hip stem. It is always made up of stainless steel. Remember this. And the femoral head is also from the stainless steel. There is no alternation. Only the alternation is the articular cell and articular liner. These are the two only alternations where nowadays the engineers are working on. What is your articular cell and what is your articular liners? So there are four types of combinations are there. The first one, everywhere you can find the femoral head is almost all metal. So the metal to polyethylene means the liner is articular liner is one polyethylene material. The second one is metal to metal, that the femoral head is the obviously a metal, but the liner is another one metal. But there are various types of metals are there. It may be a stainless steel. The third one is ceramic to polymer. The femoral head part is made up of ceramic, that is zirconiums or alumina. This type of ceramics are generally used, and the liner is your polyethylene. And I will tell which type of polyethylene I use. And the final one is your ceramic to ceramic, that is from zirconium to zirconium or alumina to alumina. And these are the either some parts of ankle joints. The hip joints and the knee joints are the most critical, because in hip joint there is a lots of force are acting and there is a chance of fatigue as comparison to knee joints. So only we focus about the hip joint parts. These are the shoulder joints. Again the same, because it is the ball and socket type of joint and there is a less amount of loads are acting on each type of hand, so there is a less chance of any type of damages. And it is the elbow joints. The elbow joints, when your knee part is damaged, your knee part is damaged, then you can be replaced. Now, why this type of failures occurs? It is the strategy from the United Kingdom, that is National Joint Registry, but very much sad to inform that in India there is no statically joint registry still now there. On Chennai, one basic registry is there. They are only maintaining the joint replacement cases of only Tamil Nadu and some parts of Andhra. But in national level, then in India there is no joint registry, as per my knowledge. So why it is happening? If you go for the NJR, you can find out the 68.8% men are facing these problems, whereas 73.6% ladies are facing the problem of shoulders. And for the elbow, the same 64.3% of 64.3% of elbow are replaced, whereas for the women's it is 69.3. But now the place comes where the load bearing joints are placed. Here you can find the percentage much more higher as comparison to the non-load type of bearings. Here you can find the another one index that is known as the BMI, body mass index. It is the most critical thing in our nowadays. Always try to maintain your body mass index less than 25, so you will be in a healthier position. But it should not be so much less. It should not be less than 22. You should maintain your body mass in between 22 to 25. One formula is there how to calculate your body mass. That is your weight divided by your height. You can easily find out the body mass index. And everywhere you are seeing that the body mass index is gradually increasing from one part to another part. If the body mass index is increasing automatically, there is a lot of chance of your problems. For your hip joint, the body mass index is found out around 28.7. For ankle joint, it is 29.1. And for the most critical knee joint, it is 30.9. How the joints problems are started, and we can find out what are the statistical data. The statistical data says that in between 0 to 44 age, there is a less chance, and around 4.64 or 4, mostly 5% of chance of the joint problems are there. But the joint problems are very much critical in between 42 to 65, again 65 to 85. In these two periods from 45 to 84 or 85, the almost all 90% joint problems are started. It may be on hip joint or it may be on knee joint. We are not considering about another type of joints like shoulder joints, your ankle joints, your finger joints. Everything we are only now considering only the two types. One is hip joint, another one is knee joint. The THA stands for total hip arthroplasty, and the TKA stands for
excuse me, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry for interpretation. Sir, please share your presentation, sir.
Already it is said, I think.
Yeah, shared, but it's not showing. Only for first aid, only of stone.
Now you can see it.
No, sir. It's I think it's a product view.
Okay, give me another 1 second.
Yeah.
Now you can see it.
Just to move the slides, sir.
Give me 1 second. Now?
No, sir. No.
Now?
No, it's not showing.
Give me 1 second because I'm checking my net. It is also there. Net connection is also good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I am just closing my slides.
Okay.
After that, I try to do it.
Okay, sir. Yeah. So now it's okay.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
So the TH stands for total hip arthroplasty, and for the TK stands for total knee arthroplasty. We have to only consider the two are the major problems for the next generation or old generation people. So there is a lot of challenges in THA and TK because any type of replacements are taken inside our body. So the material should be biocompatible. Sometimes there is a confusion in between that what is the biocompatible material is required, why it is not biodegradable. Especially for the orthoplastic or joint replacement, no need of any type of biodegradable. The difference, if it is biodegradable, after some time the life of that what if the implant, it will be decorated or disease. So there is a chance of failure again. So we want a almost all biocompatible type of material. The next one, how you know the person is having some orthoplastic and what are the indications? Generally, the first indication is when you are finding any type of swelling in your hip portions and you are finding any type of problem when you are taking one step to another step. Generally, these type of problems are you feel when you are trying to climb an inclined areas or trying to climb the staircase. And the knee type of problems are generally found on when you are trying to run at a higher RPM or higher speed. Generally, the one person can walk around 3 meter like that, 1.5 to 2 meter per second. If you want to increase the speed, then you will find one collision between your the two bones. If this type of occurs, then you have been very much concentrating about your problems. If it is the starting problem, you can go for the there are two types of methods. One is without operating that, another one by application of some medicines and by application of some injections or by taking some other type of your routine works. So the arthritis is the second most common disease nowadays in the whole world. Per year, around 90 billion of rupees are invested by US, only in US, for this type to avoid or to overcome this type of problems. The $90 billion includes all the hospitality, implants, salary, and all the types, but they are not also purely recovered. If you go for the non-operating types, it is very much good if for the initial stage. The first challenge is just lose your weight drastically. If your body mass index is very much less than 25, if it lies in between 20 to 25, then there is a no chance of this type of problems to at all to you. If after that also you are getting this type of problems in between 22 to 25, then there is a chance of problem in your cartilage, or you have felt some accident in that area, especially on knee and hips, so that the cartilage is damaged, so that you have to improve that cartilage or replace that cartilage. The total replacement of cartilage is not possible, but regrowth is somewhat possible by operating methods. And some type of medicines or injections are also given when the initial stage, so that the operative motions cannot become, so a patient having less amount of stress in his life. But if all the things are passed, then definitely for the sustainability we have to go for the surgical treatment also. Either it should be partial or a total replacement. These are some diagrams of the total replacement. Either we have to cut the total bone and replace by some artificial material. That artificial material for the knees are generally UHMWP, ultra high molecular polyethylene, or the stainless steel, or some type ceramics. But generally in India, we are not preferring the ceramics because the ceramics are not in ductile. They are very much brittle in nature. Due to some type of shocks, there is a chance of breakdown. The fatigue, they cannot withstand the fatigue load. So now we are only considering about the anatomy of hip and how the hip replacement can be done. The hip is conjugated of 3 to 4 parts only. One is the pelvic, where the femoral head should be attached. The femur and the femoral head are attached by the pelvic, and the part is known as the articulum. Either we have to choose whose part is very much dangerous. If any time the hip replacement is there, we have to change the femoral head as well as the articulum, because one is natural, other is artificial. We cannot go through. Either both of them natural and both of them have to artificial. When we are going for the hip joint, we go for the artificial type, so that the femoral head as well as the articular will be the artificial. Previously, I told there are four combinations. That is metal to polyethylene. The femoral head is metal, but the articular liner is the polyethylene. Second one is the metal to metal. The femoral head is the metal and the articular liner is also metal. Next one is ceramic to polyethylene. That is the femoral head is ceramic and the liner is your polyethylene. Next one is ceramic to ceramic. Both the femoral head as well as the liner are ceramic. Again, one question comes on the latter slide. You will see that how will choose what is the best option in between these four. Why you are not choosing a single option and why not we trying for that? The ceramic to ceramic are generally avoided due to their brittle in nature. If you want to do suddenly the fracture occurs, automatically your total replacement will be spoiled. But there is one advantage is that the ceramic to ceramic, the wear ratio is very much less. So till now we are trying to improve the brittleness and it should be more ductile. Then we think also about the ceramic is also a good joint replacement material. So that we do not lose the hope on ceramic. Till now we are working on it. So there are two types of implement choice. If you want to total hip replacement, there are two options. One is cemented. Why it is cemented given? The cemented option is always given for the older age persons because they have a less chance of development of tissues inside the bones. If it is not cemented, that is PMC. If the cement is not cemented, that is PMC cemented is not done, then there is a chance of loosening between the femoral stem to that bone, femoral stem. But for the younger persons, less than that, around 20 to 25 or 50 years, we are not going for the cemented. We are going for the cementless process because their growth on the bone is higher as compared to the older age. So automatically the femur stem is binded very much good in femurs and there is a less chance of losing that. And due to the giving some spongy motion between them, there is a good lifespan of because the stem is not perfectly fixed. If you give some amount of allowances, it gives good result as comparison to your cemented type. So now we will discuss what are the methods the hip replacement can be taken. The first one is remove the femoral neck section or femoral head, or it is known as resectioning of the femoral. We have to cut the femoral neck section and we have to push another femoral stem inside the femorus so the angle is maintained to them, because on this bone we cannot place a head portion in it. So it is always better to avoid or remove the neck portion and put and insert another one stem part inside it. The second one is the ramming of the articular. What are the pelvic parts? The cupping part is known as the articular. We have to ram, means to remove the some amount of materials, that is the bones, so that the articular component can be fixed very much rigidly. Because the pelvic is a very smooth part, because all the bones are very much smoother. And remember another one thing, the coefficient friction of the bone is very much less. It is around 0.3 or 0.3 to 0.5. None of the metals or none of the polymer or none of the ceramics having that much of less amount of friction, so that we are facing a lot of problems for the joint replacement. Another one point I told, the bone is regenerative in nature. So what is the damages they are offering? They can be repaired, and due to this nature, the bone having their own life, and till they are not facing so much of problems until they are hit or they are damaged by some out sources. The next one is the rim or broaching of the femoral component. The femorous bone will be broached and the femoral stem can be implanted inside it. And you have to find out the very exact position, because on the femoral component the femoral head should be placed. If the component having a little deviation, there is a very much difficulties on the previous stages are offered. It may be one of the biggest problem for the failure of the joint replacement. The next, the implementation of the femoral head, and final implementation means the attaching of the articular to the femoral head. Generally, the articular shape or the femoral heads are coming in 5 stages: 22 mm, 26 mm, 30 mm, 34 mm, and 38 mm. These are the 5 stages of femoral head. So, when anyone is going for the hip replacement, their minimum head size is 22 mm and maximum is 38. In between that, we have to go for any type of hip replacement process. The next one, what are the causes of failure? The one is wear of the artificial bearing surface, that is any type of liner. It should be a polyethylene liner, metal liner, or ceramic liner, or whatever may be. Due to that working and due to the friction between them, there is always chance of any type of wears. The most important is aseptic losing. The aseptic losing is generally occurred when we are giving more pressure as the newly joined parts, because they having to take some time to fix it in their own positions. Then osteolysis, sometimes infections are there, instability, fractures, and implant failure. The implant failure is the most critical things. There is two chance of implant failure: either the fixation is not correct, or the angle of fixation is deviated for its original, and the second one is the bad product. But 100% assurance are always given by the joint replacement products. They are very much specific, and there is a less chance they will be damaged. So on the earliest it will happen, that is the dislocation, means the head position is out from the articular curve. You can see on the first diagram. And for the same type for the knee, it is again same. The two knee caps are released to each other, and there is a chance of joint failure on the earlier stage. It is only occurs due to our irresponsibility. It is only made because if you do not have that much of carrying capacity, if you are doing the any type of joint replacement, then you will face the problems. And instability or dislocation, these are another one type of dislocation. Infections due to some medical inspection, or after some time there are some inspection occurred due to the bad material, or due to not properly disinfection of the things. Sometimes the infection occurs, but it is very much rare. There is a chance of 0.1 to 0.5% in every implant. Then wear, it is the most critical things which we can be handled. The engineers can handle only this, that is the wear of the articular or bearing surface. So that we are working on this area only, that is on the for bearing surface. We have to only control the wear. If the wear rate is controlled, the total problem is solved. Till now, the lifespan of the any type of hip joint replacement or knee joint replacement is around 5 to 10 years. If the wear rate can be reduced, then we can achieve a very good results. Then the life cycle of the any type of implantation will be increases from 10 to 25 or 30. Is everybody able to see the screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's able.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So we have to work hard on the wear only, because on this the wear is only we can be controlled. Then osteolysis means there is a small particles are which can be we get from after the small wear, and which can be flow inside the body parts. Due to that also some infections are also occurs. And accepted losing means there is a loose in between the head part to the acticulum, so there is also a chance of failure. And it is the processes that is it should be broken, that either the stem or the any type of things will be broken. So it is one type of critical condition, because if once the stem is broken inside the femoris, it is very much difficult to remove. Because you always remember when the patients come for their treatment, how much they are getting pain on the time of their implant. They are getting more pain at the repairing or revision work. So if we try that, the prosthesis or the any type of revision will not come again, so that it will save the time as well as money of the patient. That is the last one is the implant failure. Either the articular is broke down and the stem may be failure, but generally it does not happen. Only one chance of failure is articular liner will fail and articulum will be fail. And these are the some diagrams or figures of various how the knee operations and joint operations are taken place in real life, and how the bones will be cut and how the parts are implanted inside the body. The here you can see the point. It is the articulum point, and it has some amount of holes to be fixed by some special type of screws that is made up of from stainless steel or zircon. Now we have to consider about the growth rate. If you are from the 2000 to 2020 or 25, you can find the growth rate is increasing variously. Around 600% of growth rate is there. So it is a challenging thing for the engineers related to mechanical engineer or biomedical engineers. We have to work very much hard. On every type you can find only one, there is 2% of where articulum is there. We can be work on that. If the 2% of the where articulum will be totally controlled, then the aseptic losing is also controlled, because aseptic losing comes only due to the friction, due to the wearing of the material, the scope and the ball having their dislocation, and the osteolysis infection also occurs. If the wear is very much less, automatically the amount of the flows cannot go inside the body, and there is no chance of any type of other diseases. For this regard, the magnesium, previously some companies they are using the magnesium, and after that the registry, that the joint registry is totally banned. Magnesium cannot be used due to that it has more dangerous inside the body, and it tends to be cancer on the next phase of the life. And if you go for the various combinations, already I told, metal to polymer, metal to metal, metal to ceramic to polymer, ceramic to metal, and ceramic to ceramic, you can find here what is the positive points and negative points. On that we can find the metal to polymer gives the best results. So we are only considering about the metal to polymer. Why we are working on it? From 2005 to 2030 onwards, if you calculate the rate of the TJR, the total joint replacement is increases rigorously. That is from 637% will be increases. And the ultra high molecular weight polyethylene is acting at the demanding work in the field of total joint replacement from 1961. In between that, there is a lot of phases are coming. That is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And what is the final solution? The final solution only find out the zero where is the ultimate goal to find the best result on it. So we have to work on the wear rate, and the wear rate is calculated for 1 million cycle of the run. These figures are find out from the hip joint simulator is one equipment where the metal to polymer, metal to metal, metal to ceramic or polymer to ceramic, all the combinations are run for 1000 revolution with a higher RPM. As comparison to our working speed, we used a higher RPM and we get the metal to polymer is having 40 to 80 mmQ wear per 1 million revolution. But other type of metal to ceramic is very much less, that is 0.01 mmQ. But we are not going for that because only one problem is that it cannot withstand the fatigue load, because the polymer can withstand that type of fatigue load as comparison to other the options what are the available. So till now most of the works are going on metal to polymer. Some researchers are also working on ceramic to ceramic, and some are from the metal to metal. In metal to metal, there is a very much dangerous thing that metal parts are flow inside the body parts, and you are all. I am also agree that here the polyethylene parts are also flow inside the body parts, but they are not much more dangerous because the polyethylene used are biocompatible, because you are not using the general polythene what is available inside the market. You are using the UHMW, that is ultra high molecular weight polythene. The one of the best branch is from Ticona, that is GUR 1020 or 1050 are they are selling, and in India the selling is totally banned. And how the now we discuss how the nanomaterials are helped to reduce the wear rates. One of the scientists, Giles et al., worked on the investigation of physical and mechanical and wear properties. It is they are using the UHMP plus quartz combination, and they found a good result of the wear as comparison to the pure UHMP. And he found that it is biocompatibility as well as the toxicity is not so much, so it can be easily applied inside the body. The next, the Hashmi et al. Studied the same wear properties, because we are always considering about the wear properties. If the wear properties stops automatically, all the properties, good amount of properties is UHMP. Only we have to work on the wear properties. The same around 10 in 15 into 10 to our minus 12 meter cube per nanometer, they are observing the wear rate. It is also very much good. And when the 15% weight of nanomaterials are used, it is reduced from 0.15 to, that is 14.72 into 10 to our 12 meter cube per nanometer they are Newton meter they are getting. So it is also a achieving score. And Runal et al. Find out they are using 1% weight percent of MWCNT, that is multi-wall carbon nanotubes in UHMP. He is finding a good amount of Young's modulus, yield stress as comparison to the pure UHMFP. And another one, they are using the CNT, carbon nanotubes. Nowadays, generally in the UHMP, they are using mostly from the carbon allotropes, and sometimes we are also using non-carbon allotropes, but the carbon allotropes giving some good results as comparison to other types of materials. So they are also getting some good results as comparison to the pure UHMP or the HDP. Yeah, it is known as the high density polyethylene. As per their density, we can also go for the LDP, low density polyethylene, high density polyethylene, and UHMP. The UHMP nowadays, the generation 4 is going on, so it is giving best results now always. Thank you. If any have any queries, you can ask to me. Any doubts, students? Any questions?
Any questions, sir?
This is your sessions. You can ask any type of question so that I can give you the satisfied answer.
Yeah. So participants, any questions, please? Yeah.
Yes, you can ask.
Okay. Seconds.
Can I reopen the slides again?
One second, sir. One second, sir. Yeah. Send me feedback link. Okay.
Okay, I am again reopening the slides so that you can ask me what is the exact link on that slide, so we can discuss about that.
Any questions? I think okay for your presentation, sir. Sir, none of don't have any questions. I think.
Okay, sir.
Very excellent session,
Thank
sir.
you.
Very nice session, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir, Santosh sir, for your kind invitation to me, and you are allowing me to for the sessions.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's a very nice session. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Can we wind up the session now?
Yes, sir. So, I love, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.